Dr. Elena Santos stood at the main observation deck of the Kuiper Research Station, her dark eyes fixed on the distant stars. The station's isolation at the edge of our solar system usually felt oppressive, but today was different. Today, they had detected something that would change everything. Dr. Santos, you need to see this. Dr. James Chen's voice crackled through the comm system. The signal pattern, it's repeating. Elena hurried to the analysis lab, her footsteps echoing through the station's corridors. The lab's holographic displays showed a complex waveform pulsing with an eerily regular rhythm. What had started as a routine sweep of the Kuiper belt had turned into the discovery of a lifetime. "It's not natural," James said, his fingers dancing across the control panel. "The pattern is too precise, too structured. And there's something else." He pulled up another display showing the signal source, a small crystalline object floating among the ice and debris of the Kuiper belt. Elena leaned closer, studying the readings. "How long has it been out there?" "Based on the cosmic radiation damage and mineral degradation." James paused, double-checking his calculations. "At least 2 million years." The implications hit Elena like a physical force. This wasn't just first contact. This was evidence of an ancient civilization that had been in our solar system long before humans had even evolved. "Have you noticed the most interesting part?" James asked, highlighting a section of the signal spectrum. "The transmission frequency matches the resonant frequency of human DNA." Elena's scientific training warred with the impossible conclusion forming in her mind. "That's not coincidence." "No," James agreed. "It's not." Within hours, the station was buzzing with activity. The ISS Observatory had confirmed their findings, and the United Earth Council had declared it a priority alpha discovery. As Elena coordinated with the arriving research teams, she couldn't shake the feeling that they were being watched, evaluated. The breakthrough came 3 days later. Dr. Sarah Williams, their xenolinguistics expert, burst into the command center, her usual composure replaced by barely contained excitement. "It's not just a beacon," she announced, pulling up her findings. "It's a key. The signal. It's activating something within us." The holographic display showed human DNA strands responding to the signal's frequency, dormant sections beginning to resonate with newfound energy. But before they could process this revelation, the station's long-range sensors detected something that made their discovery seem suddenly urgent. "Multiple objects entering the solar system," the AI announced. "Size and configuration suggest artificial construction. Current velocity, 0.15 st." They watched in stunned silence as the sensor data revealed a massive fleet of unknown vessels, their design unlike anything humanity had ever conceived. They were heading straight for Earth. Elena looked at the beacon signal, still pulsing its ancient message, then at the approaching fleet. "This isn't a coincidence either, is it?" "No," Sarah replied, her voice grim. I think we were meant to find this now." Someone knew they were coming. As if in response, the signal changed, revealing new layers of information. Complex schematics and genetic sequences began streaming through their systems. The message was clear. Humanity had been given tools, hidden within their very DNA, waiting for this moment. Helena squared her shoulders, facing her team. "Get me a secure line to Earth Command. Tell them." She paused, choosing her words carefully. "Tell them we've just found the instruction manual for the human race." The beacon's light pulsed stronger, casting an ethereal glow through the station. Humanity had just discovered they weren't just another species in the cosmos. They were someone's legacy, engineered for a purpose they were about to discover. And with an unknown force approaching, they would need to unlock their true potential faster than anyone thought possible. As Elena watched the data stream past, one thing became crystal clear. The real question wasn't whether humanity was ready for this moment, but whether the universe was ready for what humanity would become. The United Earth Defense Council chamber buzzed with tension as Dr. Elena Santos presented her findings. Holographic displays showed the approaching fleet, now past Neptune's orbit, alongside the complex genetic data from the beacon. The beings who created this beacon, whom we're calling the architects, didn't just leave us a warning. Elena explained, her voice steady despite the weight of her words. They left us an inheritance. Admiral Chen, her brother James's father, leaned forward. Explain. Elena gestured, and the hologram shifted to show human DNA strands. The architects encoded dormant genetic sequences within our species. These sequences, when activated, could transform us into something far beyond our current capabilities. And you're certain these modifications are present in all humans? A council member asked. Every sample we've tested shows the same dormant sequences, Dr. Williams confirmed, stepping forward. They're as much a part of us as our ability to walk upright. The architects didn't just influence our evolution, they engineered it. The chamber erupted in murmurs, but Elena wasn't finished. The beacon provided activation protocols, but there's a catch. The process requires enormous energy and carries significant risks. We'll need volunteers. Admiral Chen's expression hardened. With that fleet 8 days from Earth, Doctor, I don't think finding volunteers will be a problem. Within hours, the first testing facility was established beneath the Rocky Mountains. Elena stood in the control room, watching as James helped their first volunteer, Captain Maya Rodriguez. Prepare for the activation procedure. Neural interface online, James reported. Quantum field stabilizers at maximum. Maya lay in the activation chamber, her dark skin contrasting with the white medical suit. Her voice came through clear on the comm. Whatever happens, make sure you get the data. Elena nodded, though Maya couldn't see her. Beginning sequence in 3, 2, 1. The chamber hummed to life, bathing Maya in energy that matched the beacon's frequency. At first, nothing seemed to happen. Then Maya's vital signs began to spike. Her genetic structure is responding, James announced, excitement bleeding through his professional tone. The dormant sequences are activating. Maya's body arched as golden light seemed to emanate from within her. When it faded, the sensors went wild. Her neural activity, cellular regeneration, and energy output had all increased exponentially. Maya, Elena called. Can you hear me? The captain sat up slowly, looking at her hands as if seeing them for the first time. I can hear everything. Feel everything. She turned to the observation window, and Elena gasped. Maya's eyes now held a subtle golden glow. It's like I was seeing the world through a fog before. And now, a sudden alarm cut through the moment. Admiral Chen's voice came through the emergency channel. Dr. Santos, we've lost contact with our outposts on Mars and Europa. The fleet, they're accelerating. Elena looked at Maya, who is now floating several inches above the chamber floor. How long do we have? At their new velocity, 36 hours. Maya touched down gracefully, her expression determined. Then we better work fast. How many more volunteers can you process? Elena turned to her team, seeing the same resolve in their faces. They had discovered humanity's hidden potential, but now they faced a desperate race against time. The architects had given them the tools to evolve, but using those tools might be more dangerous than facing the approaching threat unchanged. As if reading her thoughts, Maya spoke again, her voice carrying a new resonance that seemed to touch something deep within everyone present. The architects didn't make us weapons, Elena. They made us their children. And it's time for us to grow up. The facility's lights flickered as they prepared for the next volunteer, and in orbit, Earth's combined fleet moved into defensive positions. Humanity stood on the brink of transformation, about to discover if they could become what the architects had always meant them to be, not just survivors, but inheritors of the stars themselves. The Rocky Mountain facility's training arena shook as Captain Maya Rodriguez deflected another energy blast. 24 hours had passed since her transformation, and she wasn't alone anymore. 50 other volunteers had undergone the activation process, each manifesting different aspects of their unlocked potential. Your turn, Dr. Chen, Maya called out, her golden eyes tracking James as he stepped forward. After watching so many transformations, he'd finally volunteered himself. His awakened abilities seemed to focus on understanding and manipulating technology at an unprecedented level. James raised his hand, and the training drone's energy beam curved around him like water around a stone. The architects didn't just give us powers, he said, his voice thoughtful. They gave us understanding. It's like they installed an operating system. And now we're finally running the proper software. Elena watched from the observation deck, recording every detail. Each transformed human showed unique manifestations of their awakened genetics, but all shared certain traits: enhanced healing, heightened awareness, and most intriguingly, the ability to communicate on a level that transcended ordinary language. Incoming priority transmission, the facility's AI announced. Admiral Chen requesting immediate conference. The holographic display showed the Admiral's grim face. Behind him, tactical displays tracked the approaching fleet's progress. Doctor, we've managed to get better scans of the vessels. You need to see this. The image shifted to show one of the alien ships in detail. Its surface writhed with what looked like living metal, consuming any matter it touched. We're calling them the Harvesters, Admiral Chen continued. They've already broken through our outer system defenses like they weren't there. Standard weapons appear to have no effect. Maya and James joined Elena at the display. How many enhanced operatives are combat ready? The Admiral asked. 53, Elena replied, with another 100 in processing. But sir, we're still learning what they're capable of. They'll have to learn fast. The Harvesters will reach lunar orbit in 18 hours. Maya stepped forward, her presence somehow filling the room. Sir, request permission to lead the first enhanced defense squadron. The Admiral nodded. Granted. But Captain, we need to know what we're really up against. Can you stop them? Maya exchanged looks with her fellow enhanced humans before answering. Sir, since my transformation, I've had memories. Not mine, but the architects. They faced these things before. The Harvesters don't just consume matter. They consume potential. They destroy civilizations before they can reach their full evolution. And that's why the architects chose us. Elena asked. As guardians. No, James interrupted, his eyes glowing with sudden understanding. Not guardians. Successors. The architects weren't preparing us to fight their war. They were preparing us to surpass them. As if triggered by his words, the beacon's signal changed again. New data flooded their systems, showing not just combat techniques, but the true scope of what humanity could become. The architects hadn't just given them weapons, they'd given them a path to transcendence. In orbit, Earth's combined fleet took up defensive positions, now integrated with squadrons of enhanced humans. Maya stood on the launch deck of the flagship, her team ready behind her. Their suits, modified by James's new understanding of technology, hummed with power that matched their transformed physiology. The architects fought defensively, she said to her squad. That's why they lost. We won't make the same mistake. Elena's voice came through their enhanced communication link. We've decoded more of the beacon's message. The Harvesters aren't just here for Earth. They're here because they sensed the activation. They know what you're becoming, and they're afraid. Maya smiled, a fierce expression that held no fear. Good. They should be. The enhanced humans took their positions as the void of space lit up with the approach of the Harvester fleet. Humanity was about to show the cosmos why the architects had chosen them, not just as their inheritors, but as the species that would redefine the very meaning of human potential. The void between Earth and lunar orbit erupted in a display of power that outshone the stars themselves. Captain Maya Rodriguez led her squadron of enhanced humans directly into the heart of the Harvester fleet, their modified suits leaving trails of golden energy in their wake. Contact in 5, Maya broadcasted through their shared consciousness. The enhanced humans had discovered they could coordinate with perfect precision, their thoughts and actions flowing together like a singular organism. Remember, they can adapt to repeated tactics. Keep evolving your approach. The first wave of harvester ships twisted through space, their living metal surfaces rippling as they launched swarms of smaller craft. Traditional Earth vessels engaged from a distance, their weapons fire providing cover for Maya's team. James's voice resonated through their neural link from his position in the command center. Their hull composition is responding to our attacks. It's not just armor, it's learning. Maya witnessed this firsthand as her energy blast was absorbed by the nearest harvester vessel. But instead of retreating, she smiled. The architect's memories within her had prepared her for this moment. Then we'll have to learn faster, she replied, reaching deeper into her awakened genetics. Golden light erupted from her form as she accessed abilities that humanity had carried dormant for millions of years. Around her, her squadron did the same, each manifesting their unique expressions of the architect's legacy. The battle transformed into something beyond traditional warfare. Enhanced humans phased through harvester defenses, their evolved consciousness allowing them to predict and counter the enemy's adaptations. Where conventional weapons failed, they succeeded through impossible feats of physics and energy manipulation. Elena watched from the Rocky Mountain facility, coordinating with Admiral Chen as more enhanced humans completed their transformation and joined the battle. Their potential keeps growing, she reported, monitoring the data streams. Every engagement teaches them more about what they're capable of. The harvesters responded with increasing desperation, their ships combining into larger configurations that threatened to overwhelm Earth's defenses through sheer mass. But humanity's enhanced forces demonstrated why the architects had chosen them. They're not just fighting, James observed, his enhanced perception reading patterns in the chaos. They're transcending their original programming. The architects designed the enhancements to evolve with use, and our people are taking them in directions even the architects might not have imagined. The truth of his words manifested as Maya's squadron faced a massive harvester construct. Instead of attacking directly, they linked their consciousness into a unified field that rippled through space-time itself. The harvester ship's adaptive abilities meant nothing when reality itself refused to accommodate their presence. We're not just inheriting the architect's power. Maya transmitted as sections of the harvester fleet began to disintegrate under their combined assault. We're redefining it. They gave us the foundation, but what we're building goes beyond their vision. Admiral Chen's voice cut through the tactical channels. Multiple harvester ships breaching lunar orbit. They're making for Earth. Maya's response carried the weight of certainty. No, they're not. Her squadron moved as one, their enhanced abilities combining in ways that defied conventional physics. Space itself seemed to bend around them as they intercepted the harvester breakthrough. But even as they achieved victories, the enemy's true strength became clear. For every ship they destroyed, 2 more emerged from hyperspace. The harvesters weren't just sending a fleet. They were committing their entire species to this attack. They're afraid, Elena realized, watching the battle unfold. Not just of what we are, but of what we're becoming. Every minute we fight, we evolve further. James nodded, his eyes glowing with enhanced insight. The architects didn't just give us weapons or powers. They gave us the ability to transcend their own limitations. The harvesters aren't just fighting us. They're fighting the next step in cosmic evolution. As if confirming his words, Maya's squadron demonstrated their growing power by triggering a chain reaction that consumed an entire wing of the harvester fleet. But their victory was tempered by the knowledge that this was just the beginning. The real test would come when the harvesters unleashed their full strength. Earth hung behind them, blue and vulnerable, as humanity's enhanced defenders prepared for the next phase of a battle that would determine not just their survival, but their ascension to something greater than the architects had ever dreamed possible. The solar system had become a war zone. Debris from destroyed harvester ships and human vessels filled Earth's orbital paths as the battle entered its 3rd day. In the Rocky Mountain facility, Dr. Elena Santos watched the enhanced humans push themselves beyond all theoretical limits. Final wave incoming, Admiral Chen announced, his voice tense. Long-range sensors detect over 10,000 harvester ships entering the system. Maya's voice came through the command channel, steady despite the exhaustion of continuous combat. They're not just sending ships. This is their entire species. A mass migration. James, his consciousness deeply merged with Earth's defense systems, confirmed her assessment. They're burning their bridges. Whatever happens here decides everything. For them, and for us. The enhanced humans had grown far beyond their initial capabilities. 300 of them now moved through space like living gods, their powers approaching what the architects themselves had once wielded. But the harvesters' numbers seemed endless. Alina's attention was drawn to new data streaming from the beacon. "Wait," she called out. "The signal. It's changed again. There's something else in our DNA, something deeper than the enhancements." Before she could elaborate, the main harvester fleet arrived. Their ships combined into a vast structure that dwarfed Earth's moon, its surface writhing with living metal that threatened to consume everything in its path. "This ends now," Maya transmitted. Her squadron had already destroyed hundreds of ships, but she knew conventional tactics wouldn't work against this threat. "Dr. Santos, what did you find?" Alina's fingers flew across the holographic controls. "The architects didn't just give us powers, they gave us understanding. The enhancements weren't the goal, they were preparation for something greater." As if triggered by her words, the dormant knowledge within the enhanced human's DNA began to unlock. Maya gasped as new awareness flooded her consciousness. Around her, other enhanced humans experienced the same revelation. "They weren't preparing us for war," she breathed. "They were preparing us for this moment, for transcendence." The massive harvester structure launched its attack, reality-warping weapons capable of unmaking matter itself. But the enhanced humans no longer fought as individuals, or even as a unified force. They had become something more. Maya led the transformation, her consciousness expanding to encompass her fellow enhanced humans. Their physical forms dissolved into pure energy, golden light spreading between them like a web of newborn stars. The architects faced the harvesters and chose to fight. James transmitted, his voice resonating with newfound understanding. "That was their mistake. We choose something else." The golden web of transformed humans expanded, enveloping the harvester structure. But instead of attacking, they offered something the harvesters had never encountered: understanding, connection, evolution. They consume because they fear entropy, Alina realized, watching the impossible unfold. They destroy potential because they lost their own. Maya's voice, now carrying the harmony of hundreds of transcendent minds, reached out not just to her fellow humans, but to the harvesters themselves. "Then we offer you not destruction, but transformation. The architects learned to fight, but humanity learned to grow, to change, to lift others with us as we rise." The harvester structure froze as ancient programming warred with new possibilities. For millennia, they had known only consumption and adaptation. Now they faced a species offering them not defeat, but transcendence. Light bloomed between the stars as humanity demonstrated why the architects had chosen them, not for their capacity for warfare, but for their ability to imagine beyond it, to see in ancient enemies the potential for growth. The transformation spread like a wave of creation, changing not just the enhanced humans and the harvesters, but the very fabric of space-time around them. Where there had been battle, there was now evolution. Where there had been destruction, there was renewal. Admiral Chen watched in awe as the light show faded, revealing something that defied traditional physics and biology. What are we seeing?" Helena smiled, tears in her eyes as she understood the architect's true legacy. The next step, not just for humanity, or even for the harvesters, for life itself. The beings that emerged from the transformation were neither human nor harvester, yet somehow both and more. They had become living bridges between what was and what could be, carrying within them the seeds of infinite potential. Maya's consciousness, vast yet still recognizably herself, reached back to Earth. "The architects didn't build warriors," she transmitted. "They built gardeners. and it's time to help the universe grow. As Earth's traditional forces stood down, the transformed beings began their work. The age of conflict was ending. The age of transcendence had begun. Humanity had not just survived or won. They had changed the rules of the game itself. And in the depths of space, the ancient beacon's light finally dimmed, its purpose fulfilled. The children of the architects had not just met their potential, they had surpassed it, proving that the greatest power in the universe was not the ability to destroy, but the courage to transform.